creators that want to get involved in the collaboration, where we trade recipes. We each make a video and then release them in the evening on the first Wednesday of every month. So we did episode 7 released yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. So again, it's one of those things. If anyone wants to join, just let myself or Kendra know at Consume the Goodness. Our emails are in our bios, so you can just reach out to us anytime, sort of thing. So let's get into the comments here, see who all is in the house. Michael was first in the doors. Good to see you, Michael. Lynn was here as early as well. Tiffany is here. She'll be lurking while she works on her Vlogmas videos, I think. Appreciate any time that any of you can spend here. Again, it's just Thursday night chit chat, hangout, see what everyone's up to, kind of thing. Dr. John Smith is in the house. Good to see you. Loretta and Jason's off-grid is here. Thank you for coming in. I think they'll be multitasking as well. Again, I do appreciate any time you're here, even if you're just listening in the background. We're all busy, got things to do, and but I do appreciate any time you can spend here. Gail is here from Gail's Health Journey. Good to see you, Gail. Kevin from Tuber Chat is here. Thanks for stopping by and sharing on Reddit, Kevin. I appreciate it. Loretta made bone broth today. That sounds awesome. I should be doing that more often too. It's one of those things that is a fair bit of work, but it's definitely well worth it. Let's see what else is going on. Gail's been meaning to try bone broth. Yeah. Again, I think it's something that's well worth it. You make a big batch of it and you can freeze it and, use it for recipes or just drink it straight up whenever you want to, something like that. P&J's Homestead Adventure in the house. Thank you for coming in. Paula and Jason were part of this month's I Was Challenged collaboration. They made a recipe that was sent to them from Kendra at Consuming the Goodness. It really turned out well. I think everyone's videos were great, and I do appreciate everyone that shows up to that sort of raid parade that we put on, kind of thing. So we start at 7 p.m. Eastern on the first Wednesday of every month, and it's worked out. So I do mine at 7, and then Kendra does her video premiere about 7:15, and then Paula would do hers at 7:30, and then so on and so on, depending on how many people are in the collaboration each month. Scratch and Pete is here. Thank you for coming in, Pete. Appreciate it. Let's make sure we're not missing anyone in the chat. Everyone's saying hi back and forth. I was telling Tiffany there, I've started, Canva has released a sort of updated version of their video editor in the suite. I'm not sure if it's available as part of the free version. Someone who has a free version would have to chime in on that, but I do pay for Canva because I use it almost every day. So, so far I've used it. Again, I'm going to do a Vlogmas series this year. So basically that is Vlogmas involves putting out a video every day in December. So for 24 days kind of thing. I'm not going to sort of give away the theme to my Vlogmas, but basically it allows me to actually, there's pieces of it that are repetitive for the month. So I've been using the Canva video editor to make certain parts of the video for each day kind of thing. And it's really, really quick actually. So, and the one thing I like about the Canva editor so far is that it's got a good variety of audio that you can use as well. So if again, you would have to be part of the paid tier to get any of that, but like the music stuff, because usually the way audio works in a program is that they'll make audio available to use commercially if you're paying for the service that you're using. So yeah, so like I say, hopefully everyone enjoys it. I just wanted to do something a little different this year. A couple of years ago, we did the 12 days of chaffles kind of thing, and it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. This one is not keto related. It's just something fun, but hopefully everyone enjoys it kind of thing. Make sure we're not missing anyone in the chat. Everyone's saying hi. Tiffany's back to lurking. Henry is in the house. Thank you for coming in, Henry. Really appreciate it. Amy, rocking coach Amy is here. Thank you. We're still going to get tripped up once in a while by these tags in the chat instead of usernames. But forgive me if I forget anyone's username momentarily, kind of thing. Jesse is here. It's good to see you, Jesse. Thank you for coming. Jesse has new videos for us every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, and Jesse has a lot of unboxing and videos and stuff like that. All lots of cool stuff. So be sure to check out Jesse's channel when you get a chance. She's really consistent with having new content every week. Joe is here. Thank you for coming in, Joe. And thanks for sharing those links, Paul. I appreciate it. I think she shared the challenge playlist that has all of the sort of videos from past episodes in it. So Matt Mouse is here. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. How's the weather doing out there this week? It's cold and rainy here. It's definitely turned here. Yesterday was so windy too. It was just ridiculous. I'm sure I've probably missed someone. I do apologize if I have. Coffee walks and whatever. Good to see you guys. Thank you for joining the live stream. Again, nothing super sort of specific to talk about tonight. It's just I did have to skip last week. Things were kind of hectic with work and life and everything else. And so, but it is what it is. We can't be there all the time, but we try to be as consistent as possible, I guess. Thanks for that, Pete. And if you can hit the thumbs up for the live stream, it really does help push things out. Paul is saying, so fun to try new recipes. Yep, for sure. I made, Paula sent me, what I did is recreated the crispy kale chips that Paula made in a video a while back. I'm not really so, kale isn't something that I eat, or hardly ever kind of thing. So I did enjoy it, definitely turned out crispy. So, and my wife even wants me to make another batch of it so that she can try it. She's not really a fan of kale, but it's really, it takes 10 minutes to make. It's so easy to make. And I definitely could see how quickly it can burn though. So it's one of those things where you don't want to bake it too long. That's for sure. Brenda is here. Good to see you, Brenda. Thanks for coming in. The rat is still lurking, but again, I appreciate any time any of you can spend here, even if you're just in the background. Much appreciated as always. Yep, always fun, Lynn. It's I think one of the nicest things about it, as a creator, is that um, or as at least as a creator that makes videos, is it gives us the opportunity to do things that we don't or wouldn't normally do, because that gets us sort of outside of our normal kind of content, I guess. You guys all know me. It's 99.9% chaffles and then, 0.1% other things. So for the most part, the other things come from this collaboration. So that's why I enjoy it for sure. Gail finally made it for live. I appreciate that, Gail. Yeah, Gail's been a long time friend. She's got multiple channels as well. She just rebranded one of her old channels to this Gail's Health Journey. So she's been putting out quite a bit of content over there as well. Vlogmas sounds like a lot of a commitment. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a commitment. But again, that's why I have sort of, and you'll all see sort of the when you actually see what I'm doing, you'll see why I picked the theme that I picked, because it's really, it's a little bit of time in editing, but it's really not that hard. So, for myself, I will still probably wind up spending more time editing Vlogmas than I will 6 months of my other videos. But again, it's one of those things that allows for a consistent upload of content every day for 24 days. I'm a little bit apprehensive as to what it's going to do to the channel. Other creators will sort of it's the things you have to think about as a creator. In the past, I have noticed, and this is why I started my other channel, to put random stuff on, is that I have found I can be rolling along with my regular content every week, like chaffle videos and all that, and they do really well, get a consistently good interaction with the audience and all that. They get good views and everything else, and then I'll put out something random and it just completely destroys the momentum of the channel, because unfortunately, we've got a fairly big audience here and the chaffle videos seem to do really well, but things that aren't sort of keto related don't do very well at all. So that's why I'm a little apprehensive about Vlogmas. I'm going to do it anyways. And I did put out a post there. Like, I think it would probably be a waste for me to put it on my other channel. Because there's only 31 subscribers over there right now. So I'd rather put it out where it might reach more people over here on this channel. But I guess the way I look at it, there's really only two ways it can go. Is it can really hurt the channel, or it can help. So I guess we're about to find out in 3 weeks or whatever it is. Oh, let's make sure we're not missing anything in the chat. I did see that Amy dropped a super chat, but we'll get to that. I do appreciate it, Amy, for sure. Yeah, thanks for dropping that link, Paula. The 12 days of chaffles was fun. That was a lot of work, though. I got to the point on that one where I was running out of ideas and just struggling to get that one done. But it's another one of those things too, that if you're going to commit to something like that, it's makes it way easier if you work on it a month or two ahead of time and get it ready to go, so you're not stressing about getting things done every day. Yeah, BC is rainy, windy. The time change hasn't helped, right? You know, we go from it getting dark at like 6:37 to getting dark at 5:30. Like, what kind of crap is that? Now it's like getting dark at 4:30. That's the worst thing about the fall. You know, I don't mind the fall. I'd rather the fall than the winter, obviously, because I don't like winters here in Ontario. But yeah, that time change really does suck. Make sure. And Nightbot is reminding everyone, if you do have a channel, you can type hashtag Thrive in the chat and Nightbot will drop your link for you. We eat them a lot, especially since we don't eat potato chips anymore. Yeah. Have an OJ eat bacon rinds for snack. I eat a lot of pork rinds for sure. That's my sort of go-to crunchy snack, you know, because I was addicted to potato chips before I started keto. So the pork rinds are definitely my go-to nowadays. Sorry if it's a dumb question. It seems like many keto foods and recipes have a lot of calories. If you can answer in layman's terms, how does one lose and maintain their weight like this? Yeah, I get you. You're right, because a lot of the sort of keto foods and recipes are high in fat, right? So fat's got a fair bit of, comes along with higher calories sometimes. Like if you're going, you know, low fat, it can drop the calorie count. But my personal opinion on it is that if you're eating like a whole foods ketogenic diet, you're eating more healthier calories, right? So you're not eating empty calories like you would on a standard American diet, right? So and plus fat or dietary fat can definitely help satiate your appetite when you're not getting the high carb part of it too, right? So I think it sort of self-regulates. Now, obviously, if you aren't super active and all that, and you wind up eating, 3,500 calories a day, there's no way that you can lose weight doing that. But I think eating a higher fat, lower carb diet can allow you to still eat what should be your target range for the day. So for myself, as a 6-foot male, around 210 pounds, 215 pounds, something like that, my target calories for the day would be anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500. So I can still eat that target even if it's in a bit of a surplus. It still doesn't what I'm eating doesn't transition into body fat as easily, because I'm not having the carbs. So it's a very sort of complex question. I think it's a matter of looking at it that it's not that calories don't matter, because they do, obviously, but I think the quality of the calories matter more in the long run. So I hope that makes sense. Anyone else wants to chime in on that from the keto community, I would definitely do that as well. Again, thank you for the super chat, Amy. I really appreciate it. Your channel is starting to really have success. Well, that's good. That's awesome. I think that's sort of a product of the way that you're getting to know and collaborate with other creators. That is a big part of growing your channel. So yeah, you're doing great. And I think once you get a bit further into your new venture with the PhD certification, that'll just open up a whole other world of things that you can bring to your audience, and that should grow even faster. Oh, Rick is here. Good to see Rick. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Brian is here. Thanks for coming in, Brian. Brian's over from the ketogenic woman community. Another great community over there. Always lots of fun at her live streams, 7 p.m. Eastern. As her live streams, always tons of people in there with lots of stories and lots of inspiration. I've had Anita from Ketogenic Woman on the channel a couple times in the past, both for a live stream and recorded interview kind of thing. And I'll hopefully have her back on the channel here to discuss and hopefully give away some copies of her new cookbook that's going to be coming out. So yeah, I think Paula dropped a link for that other channel. I didn't really wasn't really sort of pushing it too hard. It's just one of these things where, again, and what really brought this up is that I've always had a second channel, but all I had over there was shorts videos, and I hadn't put anything on that channel for like 2 years kind of thing. So when we got back from our West Coast trip, I have a bunch of video that I took from that trip, and like 1,000 pictures. And so I sort of wanted to find somewhere, like I wanted to share it all, but I didn't want to put it on this channel, on the keto channel, because again, like I was saying earlier, is it kind of interferes with the normal operation of this channel. I don't like to post too much on this channel. That seems to slow things down. So that's why I rebranded that other channel, and the channel's just named Just Jason. That's it. And that's where I'm going to post sort of anything that doesn't have to do with the keto community. So yeah, and I think Paula dropped a link for that. So if you want to check it out, again, it's nothing super exciting, but it's there, and we'll see how it does. I think some other stuff went on here, but I won't want to miss anyone. Brian gifted a membership. Thank you for that, Brian. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kendra from Consuming the Goodness received that. So I'm sure she'll be happy with that. Yeah, pork rinds are great. But with the shorter days, it was going to get dark earlier with or without time change. Yeah, just that time of year. Looking forward to winter solstice, so I know the days will get longer. Well, there's that to look forward to, I guess. For sure. Gail made a quiche for dinner with ground beef. That's awesome. I had a ground beef and egg frittata last night. I do that quite often, especially when I'm sort of home by myself. Just easy one-pan meal. Makes it easy to cook and to clean up. Thank you for that, Amy. Appreciate it. Deb and OJ have been off sugars for a whole year now. That's awesome. And that's what it's all about. It's about feeling better, right? The results you see in the mirror, they're all great. And, obviously the things that they're part of what we want to see, but it's the feeling great that I think is the biggest reward to making that sacrifice of cutting things out that we all know we want. Like I'll admit 100% that there's always times where I'm like, oh man, I wish I could just forget about what I'm doing and just go back to eating what I was. But then I remember how much better I feel the way I eat now. That's what keeps me going. Mary Hubbard is in the house. Thank you for being here. Dr. John Smith gifted a membership. Thank you for that. And Karma picked that up from Lewis Acre Farm. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. And welcome to the new members for the next 30 days. I'm not sure that Karma, I haven't seen Karma in here yet. Gail, she may or may not be. She got the membership. They don't have to be here to get it. So, but she might come in if she got notifications that she got the membership. Michael's going to have a premiere starting in about 5 minutes. So he'll be over there and he'll have fresh content for anyone to watch if you want to check that out afterwards. Amy created a second channel just for other life stuff. Yep. And that's definitely one of the things I've found with this sort of proper human diet community is that, you know, if you get subscribers based on certain content, you know, if you put out things that don't, like, if you're in a really specific niche like keto, if people subscribe to your channel for specific things like chaffles, then chances are they're not necessarily going to watch hummingbird videos. You know what I mean? And I don't blame them. So that's why I decided to start putting that stuff on the other channel. A lot of the keto community doesn't consider calories as important as eating whole food style. Correct. What I consider most important is meeting my protein goals and then add fat and carbs, less calories. Yep, for sure. The protein, I completely agree. I think the protein goals should be your number one sort of focus. Prioritize protein, and then your fat and whole food carbs that's basically what gives you the fuel to energize your day, right? Paul is sharing the pizza frittata. Thank you for that. Yeah, she's definitely all over those links tonight. That's for sure. What would you say are the top 2 or 3 essentials for running a YouTube channel? First thing you have to, and I was told this a long time ago, and thankfully I haven't had to deal with it too much. You have to have the ability to not care what people think or say. You want to be appreciative of the good things that people say, and there will be the majority of what kind of response you'll get to anything you do on videos and on YouTube. The majority of it's all going to be positive. But sooner or later, as a content creator, you will get the negative, and you'll get the really negative come through. And it did bother me a little bit at first, but I've gotten to the point where if I see like a negative comment come through, I basically just delete it and block them and move on, basically. Or if it's just like a different opinion about something kind of negative, then whatever. I just like the comment, so it goes away, and then I don't even bother responding. If it's really negative and people are being nasty about it, yeah, just delete it, block them, move on, carry on with your day. So that really is the first thing you have to consider before ever getting involved in making videos, because at first it'll all be sunshine and lollipops per se, because everyone will be there sort of supporting you, right? But eventually every single creator comes across that one person that has nothing better to do but leave nasty comments just for no reason. It's not like they really know anything about you or probably don't even care. They're just out there trolling people, right? So I would say that's probably the first thing to think about before you even start doing a channel or start coming up with a channel. The other essentials for running a YouTube channel, you'll see it all up and down this live chat that we have going here. 100% couldn't do this without my consistent friends from the community like Lynn and Joe and Brenda and like all my keto community friends that come week after week, like yourself as well, right? That is really important. But I also think one of the biggest things to do if you want to start being a YouTuber is make as many friendships with other YouTubers as you possibly can. That is a huge thing because they can be there to support you. Like you'll see there's a great big, chasm of the different creators that are even here tonight in the different kinds of content that they do. Yes, there are some in the same community and the same sort of niche that I'm in, but most of the other creators that are here tonight are just creators that I've made, I've become friends with, so getting into places like Tuber Chat with Kevin, where you can meet as many creators as you want, I think that's where you can get the support to really grow and learn from other people that have gone through all this at the same time. So I hope that, that would be sort of my looking back at it, as far as your, if we're talking about equipment for doing YouTube, it's all you need right there. Phone. Lots of people, that's all they use. That's all they start with. And some of the biggest creators, all they use is a phone, right? Because that's all you technically really need, right? Now, is it better to have a camera? Like I have a DSLR digital camera that I use to do my live streaming. I have a half decent mic. I have all of my videos are created with a GoPro, more or less, kind of thing. And then I have cheap lav mics and I have wireless lav mics, but that's investment over time, right? You have to think of the things that you want to invest in over time. I didn't always have a decent mic. I started off with a $15 USB mic. So again, you don't have to invest anything for hardware. There's lots of little things that can make your life a lot easier. Like I've got some fairly affordable lighting. The Neewer line of products is always pretty reliable and fairly affordable, and it's just all available on Amazon. So hope that answered your question. Like I say, if anyone else has any essentials that they want to list out, feel free to. Like I say, and John, if you want to start a YouTube channel, just let me know and I can answer. We can just email me and I can answer any questions you have about it. There are different things to consider when you're actually setting up your channel. Don't listen to anyone that tells you to set up a branded channel. I can sort of walk you through how not to do that, because that's what I did and I regret it every day. But so yeah, if you want to get started, just let me know. We can definitely help you out with that. Katie's here. Thank you for coming in. Exactly. One bag comment, let it go. So many of my creator friends in this space have depression and are other issues of that sort. And I see them wanting to be a creator, but the negative stuff really derails their health and healing. Yep. It can definitely grind on people. because again, it definitely has to be something that you, and I don't really get that much come back at me. It's very, very rare. And if you notice that I don't really do shorts videos on this channel for keto, ultimately if you want to experience the worst of YouTube, do a whole bunch of shorts, do a whole bunch of vertical live streams, and you'll experience it no time whatsoever. So, but that's just my experience anyways. Yeah, haven't made it till you've been trolled. I can take the BS, but some of my friends can't. Yeah, and you can tell pretty quick, and it does definitely hurt a lot of people. Rosalind is here. Thank you for joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's a lot of fun. Been there a couple of times. YouTube has given me a thicker skin. Yeah. So, and again, it's not something you'll ever really experience until you do it. But I think it's good to know that it's coming, and it may take 6 months, may take a year, may take 2 years, but sooner or later, if you're doing content that, and it doesn't matter what kind of content you're doing. Like, I'm assuming if you're going to do like keto, carnivore, there's always going to be people that push back against that. If you're going to do auto mechanics, like I could do a whole third channel based on what I do for work, because like my work takes me to do all sorts of different things. I install security cameras, I install security systems, keyless entry system, data networks. I clean up data racks. I do all of that stuff. So I could create 8 hours of content every day almost. But the problem is that I know if I put it out there on YouTube, it's going to be, you did it wrong. I do it this way, blah, 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 blah. So I don't even bother. Right. So, but it's just being aware of what you're going to get eventually. So, yep. Tuber chat is definitely, and again, it's not necessarily so much about, it's not about getting subscribers when you get involved in channels like Tuber Chat. It's about making friendship, because that's the biggest thing, right? Is making lasting friendships with people like Paula and Jason, like Katie, like everybody that's here, like Gail, Matt and Mouse. It's about making those connections with people that are going to support you no matter what you do. Now, if you do something really stupid, well, that might turn into an issue. But for the most part, we're all just there to sort of figure out what we're doing, because for the most part, now there are some bigger channels there, but for the most part, we're all still learning, right? So trying to do everything and learn everything on your own is really tough. That's why I always suggest that we go to a community that's going to be there to answer the questions when we have them. And it's always fun getting Kevin off on story time when we ask him questions, right? So yeah. It's good to send new creators over there, because they can definitely learn lots of stuff from people that have gone through it already. So sound is always more important than video. Absolutely. So yeah, that's a good point. If you're going to invest in gear, then it's the sound that you have is always worth the money. So right now I'm saving my small YouTube income to buy some better hardware. That's the way to do it for sure. I could have known that before, set up a branded channel. Now I can't undo it. Yep. Yeah, for sure. If you do want to do something with it, we can certainly get you going. Okay, why do you regret a branded channel? Well, for one, um, most, if you're not a branded YouTube channel and you're monetized and you have memberships, you can hand out the YouTube gives you 10 memberships that you can hand out per month. So free memberships for people to get. We don't get that. If you're a branded channel, you don't get that. If you're a branded channel, you cannot receive gifted memberships. Again, it's not anything super inconvenient. It's just that there are certain features that YouTube puts out there that are only for non-branded channels. Because in theory, the whole point behind a branded channel is that it's always meant to be business focused, not necessarily a personal YouTube channel, which is what I have. I'm not trying to run a business, right? So, but unfortunately, when I was starting and thinking about starting a YouTube channel, basically I sort of followed the whole Think Media way of doing things, and they suggested it being branded. Now, that's not to say that eventually maybe having a branded channel might turn into be something that's like a benefit to me, right? So, but so far I haven't really seen that. So, and it's funny, I don't know if there's a new feature out there called Hype. Some of you may have seen it. So basically, with my YouTube channel is built underneath my personal Google account. So I have my personal Google account, and that's where I'm subscribed to a whole bunch of crap that has nothing to do with keto, right? And then underneath that, I have my Just Jason account or channel, and then I have this Just Jason Keto channel. The Hype feature YouTube gives you, I think you can hype 3 videos or 1 video 3 times a week kind of thing, and that just sort of allows you to give some love to fellow creators and their videos kind of thing. It puts them in like a point system that gets them on a leaderboard, and that gives them more exposure. It's just to help smaller creators, up to channels with 500,000 subscribers, if you call that a small creator, but whatever. But I cannot use that feature under this channel. I can only use the Hype feature under my main Google account name. So if I want to hype, and I did it for one of Jesse's videos, if I want to hype a video, then I have to switch to that user and then go subscribe to the channel with my personal account, and then I can hype the video. So it's just weird. So I am falling behind here. That's why Gail Southern Living was my channel name. It's a broad subject for sure. Yeah, and if you don't know what you're going to sort of do as a niche, then you're better off trying to stay fairly, broad, like Gail is saying there. I feel like you get out of it what you put into it. Absolutely. It's just like everything else, pretty much. If you put some consistency into it and you try and make a decent quality product, then you will definitely get the rewards that you're looking for. I'm confident in that for the most part. Do I work in IT? Absolutely not. I'm not an IT person. I can do IT work. Like if you're talking about like programming and all that, no, I'm what do they call me? I am a low voltage integration technician. So basically, we do voice and data cabling for businesses. We install keyless entry systems for businesses and buildings, like residential buildings. We install alarm systems. A big part of our business is CCTV camera systems. And then we get into random stuff like wireless internet bridges and stuff like that between buildings. So it's basically all of the hardware that goes along with the IT services. That's what we do. But yeah, IT work is sort of that's stuff that we farm out to someone else that does all that for us. Now I am getting into more of the platform work with Unify Ubiquity equipment, so like a one brand solution for every part of what goes into a small business kind of thing. So getting more into it, but yeah, they don't pay me enough to be an IT guy, so I don't ever offer up my knowledge when it comes to that kind of stuff. Super Chat has been the best ever blessing for me and my channel. Yep, I think a lot of people feel the same way. Oh, if anyone is a potato chip fanatic, feel free to send me an email and I'll send you my recipe for potato chaffle. Hits the spot for chips, fries, my email. Cool. That sounds amazing. Exactly. Look forward to stopping by and seeing your friends' videos, etc. Kevin's channel is where we met. Yep, for sure. And that's the thing. Like we're always, you don't have to, to be a good part of a YouTuber community or a creator community, you don't have to be, you don't have to be a fan of what everybody's doing. Like if you looked at my personal channel where I subscribe to all the other stuff that I like to watch, well, most of that's like car and boat and all that kind of stuff, right? But it's about the friendship that you have with the people that you're supporting. Doesn't matter what kind of content they have, doesn't matter how much they put it out. We're there to support when they have videos. We're there to share when we can, we're there to collaborate with whoever we can. We're there when someone needs some watch hours, they're getting close to monetization. We're there to help run playlists and stuff like that. So it's just like, in the keto community, we're all here to try and support out each other as well. Like when people are struggling, we're here to offer help. And, it's the same with the YouTuber community. Kevin keeps missing a question I've asked more than once due to the chat being so fast. Yeah, that's for sure. It can get moving in there pretty quick. Thompson's here. Good to see you, Thompson. Thompson has had a very steady rise in his content lately. It's definitely should check out Thompson's off-grid cabin that he's built. It's been really doing really well on YouTube, but like to see all the different things that he's putting into this cabin. There's Kendra. How you doing tonight, Kendra? Thank you for coming by. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about it at this point, Amy. If you're going to use it for a business, it may turn out to be what you need anyways. So I am probably way behind on the chat, but we'll try and get caught up here. Yeah, Mouse is crazy, jealous of Thompson's rock fireplace. Yeah, that turned out amazing. That's some really good work for sure. Wondered why I never received memberships. Yeah, but it's also something that there is a setting that you need to turn on. I can't remember in order to receive memberships. So that could be it as well. Yeah. Let's see here. I found one advantage to branded channel is Mouse and I can both use separate accounts to manage the channel. That there's an advantage for sure. If you have multiple people that you want to manage it, it can help. Getting ready to start an LLC for my coaching business. So my purpose is a business. Well, again, that might definitely come in handy then. Again, you'd want to look at sort of the definition of what a branded channel is and why it can be helpful. Someone has hyped a couple of my videos, but I don't exactly know what that does for analytics or growth. I think there's, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's like a sort of hype leaderboard playlist kind of thing, Katie, that the more your video gets hyped, the higher up. It's like a top 100 videos kind of thing. And if you can get into that, like it's a playlist that's pushed by YouTube. So it gives you the opportunity to get in front of more viewers. So like I say, it's a fairly new feature. So I'm not exactly sure how well it's working yet, but I'm just trying to think of, it took me a while to figure out how I could even use it until I switched and you have to do it on the phone. It's only available on your phone app. So it took me a while to figure out how I could even hype videos. How many subs do you have to have before you can hype? Now, that part I don't know, Amy. I don't know if hyping matters, how many subs, or if you're monetized or anything. Maybe someone else knows that can answer that question. I do know that to be hyped, or your videos to be hyped, you have to be part of the partner program. So you have to be monetized at least in the first level. So your 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time. Again, I don't know if the hype feature is available to everyone, or if you also have to be part of the partner program before you can hype videos. I'd have to look that up. So yeah, we try. And we do a lot of work for IT companies because they don't do what we do. So if they have customers that need infrastructure put in, we typically do a lot of sub work for other companies, like IT companies that don't do the actual work. So I weed bad channels out. If you watch closely, the bad channels will show their hand fairly quickly. Yeah, the older I have got, the less time I have to deal with channels that lie and put people down, for sure. Totally agree. I think I don't know if it was in Anita's live stream last Sunday, where I sort of mentioned that it doesn't take long to figure out if someone is making content for other people, or if they're solely making content for themselves, or just chasing trends and stuff like that. You can figure that out pretty quick. So, and then, yeah, there's no point in spending time worrying about channels like that. Rick is heading out, probably already gone, but thanks for coming in, Rick. I really appreciate it. Paul is dropping Thompson's channel. Definitely check that out. He's got lots of great content over there. He's got a new addition to the channel too. I'll just say that much. Just go watch his latest video or one of his latest videos, and you'll meet the new addition. And then there's the playlist again for the collaboration. And again, if anyone wants to join in the fun, it doesn't have to be anything special. We're just looking for sort of low carb recipes to swap amongst each other. And we're not looking for high production videos or anything. We just put together 5 or 6 minute videos each month, just trying each other's recipes, but it's really just all in fun. Just and it gets you out there in front of other people that you may not have seen your videos as well. Because, like I say, my video starts at 7 p.m. and then I have it set up to automatically send everybody to Kendra's video, and then she has her own audience that joins, and then everyone that joins there gets sent to the next person's video, and then so on and so on. And so by the time we're at the end of the premiere train, we've all said hi to each other about 4 times, and it's always a lot of fun chatting with everyone. It gives us half an hour, 45 minutes to chat with each other, and so there's that bonus part of it too. Okay, so Kendra has hyped from her other channel, and she only has 42 subs there, so that's good to know. Yeah, I usually figure out people's true colors a year into watching their channels, or maybe even sooner, that depending on the person, how much they hide who they truly are, for sure. And it's one of those other things too that you also have to remember that people change. I get it. There are, and there always have been, a lot of creators, especially in like the keto, carnivore, low carb community, that over time change. They change their view on things, and you have to know that it's going to happen. And it's not necessarily that they were lying before. It's just they've changed the way they look at things now, and then some people in the carnivore community stop carnivore and they go into other things, but they've built up an audience dedicated to one thing, and then they've shifted to something else, and it can definitely come off as being deceitful, but a lot of times it isn't. There's definitely people out there that just do things because they're trendy, and I think it is fairly easy to figure that out right away. But yeah, there's all sorts of things that go on out there. Yep, for sure, Katie. It's always good to meet people with different kinds of content. I've gotten to know a lot of the homesteaders out there too, as well, which is always fun. Because again, it's different kinds of content, but I think we have a lot in common as well. How do you do an automatic send to other video? So when you set up specifically on a Premiere, Amy, there is a section when you're setting up the Premiere that it lets you do a redirect or a live redirect kind of thing. But I do believe, and I've figured this out because I try to do a redirect from my other channel to one of Michael's premieres, is that I think you have to be monetized to do it. You have to get to a certain point before they allow you to do live redirects. So I can't remember what it is exactly, but yeah, you can't. It's not available to everyone, unfortunately. I would like to do the same thing, Juliet, to me, and then to Barbara, send all my viewers there. Yeah. Again, I don't know what the sort of what sort of level you need to make before you're allowed to do that. Maybe someone does know, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. Okay, he's saying, it took me a year to figure out exactly I wanted my channel to be. I realized that I didn't have to have it one specific thing, and that I had to do me while sharing. Yep. Yeah, I think it's important to do what makes you happy with your channel, kind of thing. If that means doing a whole bunch of different things, well, then so be it. Really the only thing I had to share that I was sort of willing to put out there has to do with keto. But there's lots of channels out there that have just a variety of things as well. One thing I wish I could prove on is the most is staying focused while doing something and making more shorts that do good. Most of mine just don't talk to others. Yeah, it's definitely something really that's an ongoing learning process, Katie. I find is that trying to figure out what works for you. Um, you know, I have a shorts video that uh, back when they first started allowing or started the shorts videos back when they were beta testing it. Like my most viewed shorts videos, like 23,000 views, but that was in the beta test time. They were pushing those things out like crazy. Like they were forcing people to watch. Well, they weren't forcing, but they were forcing the shorts videos out there. So I think that was a big part of why that shorts video did so well. My shorts videos nowadays, they don't do anything. That's why I don't put them out there. Um, I don't find any benefit to them whatsoever. I tried to do that whole, well, take a regular video, take a portion of it, make a shorts video, and tell people that they can watch the whole video by clicking the link below. Man, the nasty comments I got on those shorts videos, everyone's like, "Oh, this is stupid. Where's the real video?" Like people just don't read, right? So I stopped doing those because I don't care. It's not worth it to me for 400 views. It's not worth it if it's not going to bring any positive attention to the channel for me anyways. But that's just me. Lots of people do great with having consistent shorts uploads as well. And I think it also can be that if you do a decent quality shorts video and you put out one or two every day, after a month or two, maybe it really starts to pick things up, right? So I just don't. And the other thing I don't like about them is that they kind of muck up my sort of page or my videos. I know this might be, and again, it's just my opinion about the way my channel works, is that I put out a video on a Friday night or a Saturday night every week, a new recipe video. That video doesn't, if it's going to do well, does not start growing for at least 48 hours. It'll start sort of growing for the first 48 hours. But if it's going to get, 1,000 views or more, it's not going to start doing that for at least 48 hours. If I release another video within that 48 hours, it kills the video. It will get that first video has zero chance of doing anything except for what it's done before I release that next video. And that includes shorts. And I've done this before. And that's why I only release one video a week. I give my videos 7 days to mature and do as good as they can. And that's been working for me. So it's just a thought. Like I say, I don't like what shorts do to my channel, so I just don't bother with them. So we posted a short of a rock being blown up. That was all it was, less than a minute. Yep. And that's the thing, is things do blow up quickly for sure. But a short that had a subject has not done good. Yeah, it's hard to tell, Katie. If I could tell you what kind of shorts are always going to do well, I would probably do them. I've always found that the ones for me that did the best were just random crap that I videoed, didn't have to do with anything, any shorts video that I have spent any time on, like I've actually edited the video to make a shorts video, is just tanked. Zero. It may get 100 views. That's it. So absolutely not worth my time to bother with. especially with the monetization limits there are in shorts video, if you want to make any money off shorts, you need 2 million, 3 million views off of it. So again, I think if you want to get sort of any channel benefit out of vertical video, then do vertical live streams. And I know a lot of people don't like vertical live streams. I personally don't like them much either, but your channel will grow quickly if you do vertical live streams consistently, because it puts it out in front of a lot more people. But be very aware that if you're going to do that, have quite a few trusted moderators in your chat at all times, because it can go very bad very quickly. So if you're going to do shorts, you should make it consistent with your long videos. This way it's not grabbing the wrong audience, for sure. What about people that release videos every day? Well, it works for some people and it works for others, Amy. It's just a matter of what works for you. I personally don't find it works for me. That's why I do once a week. It allows my videos, typically my videos will have a fairly steady growth for that whole week, and then they'll sort of level out before I release the next video. So that's the way I've set up my content. But again, it's all about finding out the balance for your channel. Like Michael, who was here tonight, he posts twice a day, and that's what works for him, right? So it can work for you, depending on what kind of content you have, I think. I know from experience, I used to make lots of wildlife shorts and didn't consist of my long videos. I lost a ton of subscribers when I stopped doing shorts. Yeah. And that's the other thing I have to keep in mind too, is that the audience that you do attract with shorts is going to be a totally different audience than your long form content. So again, you could post a random short and it blows up. Let's say it gets 5 million views. Well, chances are you're probably going to get a good number of subscribers from that video. But then then once they realize that they're getting notifications about content that doesn't have anything to do with that shorts video, a lot of people will leave. And that's why it's funny, a few times now with some of the Chaffle videos that I've put out, they, you get 5 or 6, 10,000 views, 20,000 views kind of thing. I have Chaffle videos that have brought in over 1,000 subscribers to this channel. There's one thing that's consistent though. Like if I do a video and let's say I gain 100 subscribers to the channel in that week from that video, the next week that I do a live stream and people get notifications that I'm doing a live stream, it's guaranteed that I lose quite a few subscribers from the live stream, because it's pushing out notifications to people that forgot they subscribed to you. So, but that's what I like to keep telling myself anyways. But at the end of the day, you don't want subscribers that aren't going to watch anyways. Hoy. Oh, what did I miss here? Unsubbed. It's been a while, but I can't remember when I went through and unsubscribed from channels. Yep, for sure. In a month, I lost 500 subs after you stop doing. Yeah, that's crazy. Amy's got to run, complete her homework. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, we should probably wrap things up. I'm 10 minutes overtime. This is crazy. Yeah, people are watching shorts, generally don't watch long form videos. That is a fact. Absolutely. And of all the channels I'm subscribed to, I've unsubscribed to one actually, and it was just because I couldn't get past the negative stuff. Yep, and it happens. Like even not too long ago, I had to unsubscribe from 2 channels that I liked watching. And it wasn't because they were putting out bad content. It wasn't because they were, it wasn't because they were negative or anything. It's because they're 2, let's say, huge creators that decided to invest in a company that lies to its customers about the product that they sell. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to talk about who it is, but I can't support creators that invest in companies that knowingly lie to customers about the benefits of the product that they sell. So, so things happen. Unfortunately, my unsubscribing from a channel that has 5 million subscribers, they could care less. It doesn't matter anything to them, but my sort of morals won't let me follow creators that are going to deceive people. So, overachiever, sure. Upcoming recipe, yeah. Geez, these weeks just go way too fast. I have something in mind. It may not be a chaffle recipe. The last chaffle recipe, talking as a creator, really didn't do very well. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool and something different, but the YouTube world did not like that one. That's for sure. So I might try something a little bit different this week. Still keto, obviously. It's another keto sort of appetizer. It's one ingredient I need to find that's hard for me to find a good quality version of. So we'll definitely have something. What it's going to be, I have not figured it out yet, but we'll have something for Saturday night for sure. So I think we'll wrap it up for the evening. Yeah, for sure, Brian. Yeah, you have to just do what you feel right, for yourself. And it would be the same for anyone that I follow. If they start promoting things that I don't think is correct, again, I'm not going to go out and try and blast anyone for what they're doing. I just unfortunately have to unfollow. So yeah, it's just the way it is. But like you say, Brian, if you have integrity, then you do what you have to do and just keep living your life. So, Yadira slid in here. We're just finishing things up for tonight. I appreciate y'all being here. We're even 15 minutes overtime. So much thanks to everybody that's been here tonight. It's been a good chat. Hopefully everyone, didn't bore everyone with too much YouTube conversations kind of thing. But sometimes we get off down that road and sometimes we go down the keto road and, sometimes they meet in the middle. But I appreciate you all being here. Saturday night will be another recipe video, probably 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll put something up on the community tab. And then next Thursday at 7:30, as long as nothing else goes on, we'll have another 7:30 chit chat here live on YouTube. Yeah, that's about it. Hope everyone has a good week. And if anyone ever has questions, whether it's keto related or YouTube related, my email is always there, just jasonketo@gmail.com. I'm always available to answer any questions that you have. So that is about it for tonight. I'll see you on Saturday for the next recipe video. Keep on thriving, my friends.